Okay, so let's get started. Vic, thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure, Cody. How have you been?
Yeah,
How are you holding up
I,
with all this craziness?
I've been. Well, I'm an essential worker, so they've been working me to the bone.
Oh no. I don't know whether
Yeah,
I don't know whether I should congratulate you or say I'm sorry.
a little bit of column A, column B.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I just figured that with everything going on and things being kind of endlessly depressing for most of this year, and the fact that folks haven't seen you is like, well, I know all the folks out there paying attention to all this stuff could use a bit of levity, little lighthearted bit
I
of
agree. I agree.
little,
There's too much
little.
heaviness in the world. We
Oh yeah,
could all
especially
use a
now.
little we could all use a little relief, that's for sure.
Yeah, this is a little fun interview, and I wanted to. I've seen so many interviews with you, and a lot of them ask a lot of the same questions, and it's fine, but it's like you've seen one interview asking you what was your first role? How'd you
Yeah.
get started? You know you can you kind of seen them all, so I wanted to try a couple new. New things.
Ooh,
Maybe you've
I'm
been asked
I'm
these before.
intrigued. I'm intrigued.
Maybe you've been asked some of these before. Maybe you haven't, but I haven't seen them, so
Okay.
thought it'd be fun. But before we get started with that, I gotta know, how have you been dealing with the quarantine, keeping yourself sane and busy
You know
or
what?
whatever you.
I'm good. I'm good. First of all, it really helps to love your home.
I imagine.
For many years, I lived someplace I didn't want to live. I was someplace I didn't want to be, and so, there wasn't that peace and comfort of being home, of going home and being comfortable at home. So I love my home. I have a lot of little projects I'm working on. Plus, I have a studio in my home, and I've spent the last few months of this quarantine recording an audiobook. So, I'm very grateful to God for the work to get to do some audiobook work that I can do in my bathrobe with a cup of coffee, and don't have to worry about going to a studio or all the things that have been shut down for the present time. So I'm very, very grateful.
Very nice. Now, as a bit of music nut myself, I had to put in a question like this: what's been your quarantine playlist? What's been the music that's been?
You know what? It's not been a music playlist. It's been a Netflix playlist.
Really?
I've heard of all these different series that people have told me were great, and I figured that now was the time to find out if they were right or not.
Any stand out for either reason?
Well, let's see. I really enjoyed Ozark. I actually, as a Star Trek fan that I claim to be, I really felt bad that I didn't watch season 2 of Discovery or season 1 of Picard, so I watched both of those. Um, and I'm currently watching, I can't believe it took me this long. Everybody said for years how great it was. I'm currently watching Mad Men.
Oh, that's an
Um,
old one. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, everybody talked about it when it was out, and I never watched it. Um, I feel like there are some others that I've seen that were really great. Oh my gosh, I loved. If you follow me on Twitter, you know how much I loved Tiger King,
Oh yeah.
the documentary. It really is true that fact is stranger than fiction. Um,
Definitely.
the whole time
We're living
thinking
it.
these are
Yeah.
real people. This really happened. It's just crazy. But you know what I found too, and here's a fun little tidbit that maybe some of your listeners don't know. Everybody knows who Flo is, the progressive woman from
Yeah.
all the commercials, but a lot of people didn't notice that she was in Mad Men. She
Oh
was
really?
one of the phone bank operators in Mad Men,
Oh.
and
Yeah, she pops up in all these little unexpected places. I've
yeah.
noticed.
And I think that was way before the progressive thing. I was telling one of my friends the other day that she was in it, and they're like, "Well, I'm glad she got to do something besides progressive." And I'm like, "No, no, no. I think this was before progressive. I think like she did this before progressive, and then landed that big ad account." But so Netflix has kind of been my go-to.
Okay.
and and I love building things. Like I've always loved being like crafty, like building lightsaber replicas and painting walls and building statues and carving things and sculpting things, and projects, and so I've been doing a lot of that as well.
You just made my girlfriend's day. She's a big crafting nut. So
Oh, cool. Yeah.
finding out that you're into that is probably
I
gonna make her
literally
day.
lay in bed and think of things like, what if I painted that wall purple? Or, what if I covered that wall with wood? Or like just crazy ideas.
Who covered that wall with wood? I mean, that's a good. That's a good one.
That was my latest project. I have this big window in my bedroom. It's like 7 feet high by 9 feet wide, and it's inset about 18 inches. It's like a seat you can sit on, and the inset around it is 18 inches deep. And I thought, I'm gonna buy like oak, and I'm gonna cut it, and I'm gonna mount it all around the inside of that window, and then I'm gonna stain it so that it matches the wood of the other pieces in my bedroom. And that was a huge project, but that kind of stuff. I just love stuff like that.
Neat. So one question I've never heard anybody ask you, and I'm always wondered why.
Uh-oh, I'm excited.
Everybody's always noticed that you've had more of a fashion sense than and other contemporary voice actors. Most folks are content to show up to a con in like sweatpants and a band shirt. And you'll come back
or
the last
Bermuda
couple times I
shorts
saw
and
you.
a t-shirt or something.
Yeah, last couple of times I saw you, you had a shirt that looked like the cover of Sticky Fingers. And I was like, where do you, are you a fashion conscious guy? Where are you getting these outfits?
Let me tell you, what I'm wearing right now? I'm wearing a pair of jeans and a t-shirt. I mean, but here's the thing. When I started attending conventions, if you go back and you look at events 10, 15 years ago, I used to wear collared shirts and jeans. So a little bit nicer, kind of upscale, but not super fancy, not a tie or a sport jacket, but I would wear like a collared shirt, button-up collared shirt, but I would leave it out, and jeans. And then I think what happened, Cody, was that somewhere along the way, I saw some cool shirt. And I thought to myself, now, I could never wear that in day-to-day. It would be really weird. But I have seen all manner of interesting, crazy, cool, trendy stuff at conventions that I've attended. So maybe I could buy a cool shirt like that and wear it to a convention. So that was the first thing I did. And then once I did that, I started and people would say, "Oh, I love that shirt. It's so cool. I've never seen anything like it. It's different." Well, then I started looking more. I started kind of being more aware of different shirts or interesting pants or things that I could not wear in a regular day-to-day thing, but that you might wear in a more, dare I use the word, performance setting.
Okay.
So I started looking for stuff like that. And, I would look online, or if I would go to a store, I would look for interesting things. When I went to Japan, I scoured Harajuku to try to find cool things there. Of course, nothing fit, of course, because I'm huge. Right? I'm not big. That's the crazy thing. I'm like completely normal size. And every time I would find something cool, I would say, "Give me the largest size you have in this," and I couldn't get it on. It was too tight. And finally, somebody, literally one of the guys working at one of the stores in Harajuku said, "Maybe you should try a sumo store." I'm like, I can't believe you just said that. Like, sumo wrestlers are like 300-pound guys. I'm like, I weigh 175. Come on. But anyway, the point is that I would look for anything wherever I could find it. Like, there isn't any set place that I go. I did find some places, like in LA. There are many, many really weird stores on Melrose.
I would imagine.
Really trendy. I mean, like, super weird. Like, half of it I would never have the nerve to wear. Like, oh, here's a shirt made out of banana peels. No, I don't think so. Oh, how about these jeans that are made out of fur? No, I don't think so.
You're probably not even making that up. I don't even believe that you're making
what?
that up.
I could be making it up, but I probably have seen it, and if I haven't, and somebody on Melrose heard me say it, they'd probably try to make it. Like, they have the craziest things down there. And so there are several stores down there. One's called like don't laugh, okay?
Okay.
One store is called Moist. You're
I
laughing.
can think of a YouTuber that's probably frequenting it.
You're laughing. But no, yeah, there's Moist, and then there's Moist for Men, and then there's one called Flasher, and there's one called, they're just these crazy stores. And they have the craziest stuff. And like 80% of it, you couldn't pay me to wear. It's just too out there. But every once in a while, I'll find something that's kind of interesting. And so, and then there was a cool store called Forgotten Saints. And I used to go there, and they had one of a kind made jeans and shirts and slacks and t-shirts, and they made stuff for people like Britney Spears and Journey, and like they made stuff for people to wear who performed. And of course, I there is an element of performance in being on stage, and then also if you do music, which I do. Concert performances and stuff. So I've actually bought some things that are hanging in my closet that I've never worn because I just didn't have the nerve. I bought them and I thought it would be cool, and then I brought it home and I'd show it to somebody and they'd be like, oh my gosh, don't ever wear that. People will tear you to shreds. They will make fun of you endlessly. And I'm like, well, they already do that, so what's the difference? And they're like, yeah, but don't give them ammunition, Vic.
You have to now. You have to post some pictures of yourself now in some of those outfits.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Because I was wondering, because I have a close friend. One of my best friends is Italian.
Oh, I like him already.
There was like a point I remember when we were in high school where he used to wear normal band or anime shirts and regular pants, and he just sort of had like I was wondering if there was like a second Italian puberty where you stop wearing normal clothes. You're like, I can only wear like name brand button ups with something that glitters. I need to dress like a hitman.
Well, Cody, I'll send you these clothes and you can wear them and put them online.
I might do it.
You know, Cody, but I can't do it because unfortunately I can't, I'll wear something that 1,000 other people would wear, but when I wear it, people make fun of it. Like, it's so funny. It's like there are always people out there that are just looking for something, to put down or to make fun of or to trash talk. So while I do wear some things because I like them and I know that I've given people plenty of ammunition with some of the things I've worn, I try not to take it too far.
Well, let's be real. A lot of those people, some of them shall remain nameless, that have spoken ill of your fashion sense. They're jealous, man. Let's be honest.
Well, you can say that.
A lot of those people that's talking crap about your fashion sense don't make hordes of teenage girls at conventions squeal like the Beatles just landed.
Well, I'm not trying to do that either. I just like cool things,
It's just natural, man. I remember when you were on I think it was with Doug TeNapel, you said you were doing some theater roles before obviously everything shut down. You were starting to get back into theater. What theater productions you been doing these days?
Well, I haven't done any
theater not these days. But.
Yeah, I haven't done any theater since the new year because for the obvious reasons. But before everything shut down around Christmas time, a dear friend of mine named Karen, who I was very dear friends with in college, and we've remained friends all these years. She does a lot of directing and stage work in the area, and she contacted me and asked me if I would play a role in a stage play that she was doing, and I was very honored by that. And so I did that right before Christmas, and I've kept in touch with her and some other people, different theater groups here in Dallas, looking for, just things to do. Not, nobody makes a lot of money in theater, but it's something that I've always loved. I lived for theater and stage work before I stumbled into voice acting. So I think it'd be nice to get back into it.
Okay. Speaking of voice acting, that's a couple. I don't know if they would be heavy questions, but sort of questions on people's mind. After some of this crap blows over, time has passed. Would you consider going back into anime dubbing if you had the chance?
Of course. I mean, I didn't leave it.
Okay.
I didn't leave it. I love it, and I love the people that are in it.
So your view of the industry hasn't
Well,
changed
no,
since this.
here's the problem, bro. The
Mhm.
problem in this industry is the problem in the world. And you know what it is? 99.9% of the world are good people.
Right.
And then there's that 0.1% that ruins it for everyone else. I mean, that's the way of the world. Think about it. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, just about everything that happens, bad things that happen. I mean, even crime. I mean, you could take it down to as rudimentary a level as crime. Everybody doesn't commit crime. In fact, most people don't commit crime. But a handful, a small percentage of people commit crime and they ruin it for the rest of society. So we have to have locks on our doors and passwords and weapons and protection and police and surveillance and security, all because a small percentage of people ruin it for everyone else. So let's apply that to the anime community. I have been so blessed. There are no words to express how blessed I have been being a part of this industry. I have made so many wonderful friends. I have met so many wonderful, I mean, hundreds of thousands of people I have met around the world through the anime industry. People I've worked with, engineers, directors, producers, copywriters, translators, artists, you name it. I've met lots of wonderful people, and I love them. And I'm very grateful to God for the privilege to have met them and worked in and worked in this industry. That's not the problem. The problem is a handful of malcontents, a handful of people who just can't live their lives and be happy. They just have to cause trouble.
I think you have a more positive. After everything you've gone through, I think it's interesting. You still have a more positive view of this industry than a lot of the people that have been on the outside looking in on this.
Well, and I'm sure that's true, but the reason that's probably true is because I have just gathering my thoughts here.
Yeah, that's fine.
I have tried my very, very best to practice gratitude in my life. I've tried my very, very best on the worst day to try to remember what I have to be grateful for, and I have plenty. Um, I don't wish anyone any ill will. In fact, I'm gonna say something here on in your interview that I have not said publicly.
All right.
Ooh, this is scary.
It's friendly place here, man. You can go ahead.
For the longest time, the people that have caused me so much heartache and so much heartbreak and so much trouble and so much loss of work, I was so angry at them and I felt so betrayed by them. People that looked me in the face. I'm not even joking, Cody. People that looked me in the face every time I saw them and smiled and hugged me and told everybody we were friends. And then suddenly, without any warning, just turned. And I was really angry and hurt for the longest time. And last week, I know that you probably know that that my faith is very important to me.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
My faith is a very big part of my life. And last week I felt like God was telling me that I should pray for these people, that I should not be angry, that I should not wish them ill, but that I should try to pray blessing for them. It's really hard to hate somebody that you pray for. And I think that's the theme here. So I'm trying my best, and I've lost so much, and it hurts me to think of how much has been taken. But at the same time, I have so much to be grateful for. And on my worst day, bro, there are so many fans out there that have been so kind and so supportive and so loving and so encouraging. And I go to bed every night so thankful that there are so many people out there that have been so kind and encouraging. I've met them over the years at hundreds of different events, and I've tried to be kind to them and encourage them and support them and try to speak words of encouragement and light and positivity into their lives. And now, when I've needed that support and encouragement in return, they have given it back. And I don't have any words to express how grateful I am for that.
You're a good man, Vic Mignogna. I just want to say that. Better man than me, let me tell you that much.
Well, you never know, Cody. You never know until you're in a situation,
Yeah.
you just never know how you're going to react in any given situation until you're in it. Sometimes we fail. I have certainly failed plenty of times. If you're more than 12 years old, you have done something stupid. You've done things you regretted. You've said things you felt sorry for. You've made mistakes. You've stumbled and failed. But hopefully, you can get up and learn from them and, try to be a better person.
I think that's good. It's good advice for folks too. Well, let's lift things back up. Let's get a little more
man,
jolly
bring it up.
back in here. Yeah. Now we all know you love some Star Trek.
Oh yeah, come on. Let's talk Star Trek.
I'm not a Star Trek guy myself, but I grew up around Star Trek. My dad was really big into it.
Okay, I have to hang up now. I have to hang up.
I'm not against Star Trek. I just never.
No, I'm just teasing you.
But I did a while back, like a year or so ago, check out your Star Trek Continues show, on a lark. Like, let's see, Vic Mignogna did a Star Trek show. Let's see
him nerd out.
I have to say, I was incredibly impressed. That was some good shit, dude.
Thank you, man. You know what, Rose? Thank you for that.
Like, I say that, again, as someone that's not into Star Trek, has just watched it as a product, as a work. It was really good. I would recommend people check it out.
Well, thank you for that, and I would be very, very grateful. And, if any of your people watching or listening to your show would check it out. StarTrekContinues.com. It was my dream. It was my lifelong dream project, bro.
It was pretty good.
If I never do anything else, I would love to think that would be something that will outlast me.
The one episode I wanted to specifically point out, because I thought it was particularly good, and I just wanted to ask on this. The one with like the three Kirks, where it's like Kirk and like alternate universe old Kirk. Oh my gosh,
yeah.
That's probably my favorite one. Your performance in that. People are gonna accuse me of kissing your butt. I don't care. I say I call it like I sees it. Your performance in that was fantastic.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And you know what? That episode was actually written by a woman named Judy Burns, who also wrote an episode of the original series of Star Trek.
That's incredibly cool. I didn't know that.
Neat.
Now, it's obvious how you were able to do your performance for Kirk, like where you pulled in for inspiration from. But what were you? How do I phrase this? What did you pull from to get the performance for old Kirk and AI Kirk? Like, obviously you can reference Shatner's performance to do regular Kirk,
right?
But when approaching these sort of alternate and pretty emotionally heavy versions of the character, what was your sort of mental direction in doing those performances?
For any actor, whenever you're cast to play a role of something you've never done, you have to try to draw from whatever you can. Like, for instance, if I were cast to play a serial killer, obviously I'm not a serial killer. I will never be a serial killer. I don't know any serial killers, but you still got to play the role. So, you do what research you can. You just try to immerse yourself in the emotions of what it would be like as old Kirk to have never been rescued from the Defiant. If you were never rescued from the Defiant, and you were ended up you were ended up marooned on that ship alone, what would that be like? And all you can do is try to draw on your own experiences of loneliness and abandonment. I have plenty of those experiences. I mean, I don't want to bring anybody down, but I certainly have struggled in my life, in my childhood and other times with abandonment and loneliness, and I'm sure we all have to a different degree. So you just you just try your best to lock into the emotions of what you think that character must feel, and then of course when you actually shoot it, you try a couple of different things. You do a couple of different takes of every scene, and you may try doing different things, and then once you finish, you take all the footage home and you watch it and you decide which version works best. You might watch take one and go, oh, no, that's way too crazy. Or take two was not crazy enough. Or take three was too sad, too lonely. Take four, oh, that's good. That was a good one. That's kind of hits the right note. So you kind of, you try several different options, and then you edit together the best pieces.
All right. Now, a lot of people, I don't know if anyone's ever asked you, but I'm curious because, thoughts are mixed on this. What are your thoughts of new Star Trek, the Alex Kurtzman era of Star Trek?
Well, you know what? I don't have anything bad to say about any Star Trek. My feeling about many things in life is live and let live. I mean, if you like it, God bless you. Watch it. That's fine. If you don't watch it. I don't see the point in getting online and saying, I thought it was stupid. I hated it. You know what? Shut up. Why don't you go and do something good and positive and put your energies into something positive instead of just trashing something that you don't like. You remember, I don't know how old you are, Cody, but people in my generation used to say, when we were kids, our parents used to say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Well, boy, that idea has been thrown down the toilet, hasn't it? Because nowadays, the mindset is, if you don't have anything nice to say, let's hear it. If you don't have anything nice to say, hop onto Twitter.
I think people like that catharsis,
that is literally, it is completely that kind of ethical integrity and of just being a kind person has been turned completely on its head. And now it's, if you have something bad to say about someone or something negative to say about a show or a movie or a song, hop online and let it rip. Well, my feeling about Star Trek is, the new Star Trek is the same. It's not made for me. They're targeting a new generation of fans. I have a very, very deep love of the original series of Star Trek because I discovered it at a particular time in my life, in my growing up years. And you know what? I actually enjoy elements of Discovery, and I enjoyed a lot of the second season. But like I said, I'm not going to trash talk it because it's bringing people to Star Trek. In fact, the best thing that it could do? The best thing that it could do would be for someone your age or someone, 30, 25, 30 to say, yeah, this was really cool. Wasn't there a Star Trek back in the late 60s that started it all? And maybe they'll go back and watch the original and fall in love with the original the way I did. It'll bring a whole new generation of fans.
It's ironic because you say that this might bring in a new generation. I don't know if these new ones will, but there is a very well-known internet, a YouTube channel, sort of a movie criticism sort of a channel. One of the most popular people on the internet, pretty much, Red Letter Media. I think they're videos that they've done criticism of these new Star Treks is probably bringing more people into the old ones because they're big fans of the old ones, and they've done sort of comparisons of what Star Trek was and what it's become.
Right.
And I don't know if you've heard of these guys, but I don't know if you've heard of Mr. Plinkett.
No, I have not.
Yeah, I've heard them described as the Siskel and Ebert of the new generation, and I think that's pretty apt.
That makes sense.
They have a very sort of sarcastic, almost dark sense of humor. Well, yeah, dark sense of humor. But it is very comedic in nature. But they've done reviews like where they've, as a character, Mr. Plinkett, who's a crazy old man, but they very meticulously break down like what's wrong with this movie.
Right.
And they did a series where two of the guys discussed Star Trek Picard as it was airing and everything wrong with that. And then when it ended, they did a Mr. Plinkett video on Star Trek Picard, and in it, not only does he break down everything wrong with Picard, but then talks about the old shows. A very sort of heartwarming thing at the end with the old captains, and he even tells people, "Go watch the old show."
Well, let me say something about that.
Oh, real quick, and also you make an unexpected little cameo in that video because he goes over all the people that love old Star Trek and what they loved about it.
Oh, cool!
And how they've shown their love for it. And when he does a montage of these people, he mentions people have built their own bridge sets, and it's a behind-the-scenes shot from Star Trek Continues.
Oh,
and
cool.
That was surreal to me to see that.
Well, you know what? Let me say this about all of that, Cody. Criticism is subjective. Your criticism of anything, your criticism of a car, your criticism of a song, of a TV show, of a movie, of a person's acting, whatever. Your criticism of a food, a restaurant, a magazine, your criticism of anything is subjective. It's your opinion, right? So one person's critique of something might be something that another person loves. So again, it takes me back to what I said a few minutes ago. Live and let live. Leave people alone to enjoy what they enjoy. If you don't like it, fine. You don't like it. You have the right not to like it. But you know, there are very, very, very few things that have been made that everybody likes. You know what I mean?
This is true.
Like even something as huge as Star Wars. Like Star Wars is a multi-billion-dollar franchise. But I assure you there are people out there that don't like Star Wars. They didn't like it. So no matter how big a popular thing, there are very, very few things in the world, if there is anything, there are very few things that everybody likes. So you're going to be able to find someone critical of just about anything, but it shouldn't keep you from enjoying it. I love the original Star Trek because of the positive, bright, optimistic future that it portrayed. And humanity got over all of their petty little differences and prejudices, and they came together as one human race and reached out into space together to explore and meet new worlds and new cultures. The newer Star Treks tend to be darker. Science fiction in general tends to be kind of dystopian and dark and seedy and that's fine because there are people out there that like that. But it's not going to hit everybody. It's not going to appeal to everyone, and everyone should just be okay with that. I want to say something else. I'd like to say something else.
Go ahead.
I think this is incredibly important. I've been thinking about this. I've shared this with friends before. Something has changed in our culture, and you can apply it to almost everything we've talked about, and even this idea of, what do you think of the new Star Treks? There used to be a time when people, even friends, could just agree to disagree on something. We could have a difference of opinion about something, and we would still be friends. But something has changed over the last, 5-10 years. Something has changed, and now the culture is this. If you don't agree with me, you must be destroyed.
Gotta be canceled, man.
Yes. If you don't agree, it's not enough for me to have an opinion. you have to have my opinion too. And if you disagree with me, you need to be run out of town. You need to be slandered. You need to be run into the ground. You need to be canceled. You need to be gone. You need to be destroyed. And I don't understand where that came from. There for years, for decades, you could vote for different people. You could have difference of opinions about this or that, or concepts, or ideals, or whatever, and still get along with people. But nowadays, there are people out there that you can't get along with them unless you walk in lockstep with everything they think. And if you don't, beware, because there will be a target on your back, and you will be targeted for disintegration.
Well, I could get in for hours on why that ended up happening, but we ain't got time for that. It's just a shame that it did happen.
Yeah, it is, and I wish we could turn that ship around.
I think it will eventually.
I know that the people that are out there that are doing this kind of thing would never want it done to them. You know what I mean? They would, a dose of their own medicine, so to speak, would be very eye-opening.
I think as people though are seeing like cancel cultures now in the vernacular, I think if people are seeing it firsthand in full force, I think like the tide's turning away from it. But the general public now is more aware that this is going on and they don't like it, and they're
that it's just really getting out of hand. Yeah,
absolutely.
You may be right, and I hope so. But my encouragement to anyone listening is try to be a light in your world. Try to be a voice for positivity and a voice for good. When people think about you, let them have thoughts of, wow, that guy's encouraging. That girl is kind. She's generous. He's helpful. Not what you're against. Not all the noise you make about your hatred for this or your disgust for that. Try to be a voice for good.
I say again, you're a better man than me.
Well, you're very kind. And I want to just real quick as we finish up here. I know I have to run here, but you asked me earlier about still voicing anime, still dubbing anime. I would love to think that there are companies out there that are actually interested in doing business. That it's not a big statement, not a big political statement to make, but they're business people and they want to make a good product. And I would like to think, and this is just, my opinion, I may be wrong, but I'd like to think that I'm relatively good at what I do. And, and I work hard and I give it my best. And I have a lot of people out there who enjoy my work. So there's a large fan base. I am happy to work with people that want to work with me, that are business people that want to, that want to hire people that work hard, that are good at what they do. They're versatile, they're punctual, they're efficient, and they have a lot of people that like their work. So I'm open to doing whatever opportunities come my way.
All right. And yeah, by all means. Now I got a lightning round before we go here. 2 quick questions to verify a couple things, and then we'll wrap it up. There was a rumor that you had asked to have your name taken off the credits of a show that you worked on. Is that true? And can you talk about it if it is?
Well, no. I think you're talking about a show I did many, many years ago. I foolishly, when I first started voice acting, I really didn't know anything about the industry, and I certainly didn't watch a lot of the shows that I was cast in. So I didn't really know anything about them until we were actually dubbing them. And so sometimes, occasionally, I would be cast in a show and we would start recording, and suddenly 4 or 5 episodes in, the show takes a turn that I felt kind of awkward being a part of. So there was a show many years ago that I was playing a character in, and when it got to this part of the show, I thought, oh my gosh, I had no idea this was going to happen, and I felt kind of bad about doing it. And so I told the director, I asked him if he could just put a pseudonym in the credits for me. And he said he would. and I let him make up the pseudonym, which was a bad idea. He made up some funny, crazy name, and of course, people recognized my voice eventually anyway, so it didn't really matter. But the lesson that I learned from that is, you know, you never know. Like when you get involved in something, unless you really do your homework, you know, you never know. Sometimes you make a bad call and you get involved in something you probably should have steered clear of, and you hopefully live and learn.
Okay. And I guess people can do their own digging if they really care what show it was.
People have, believe me.
All right. And yeah, just to finally bring it up to as positive as we can, when to end this on what you tell the people, if you can think of it. What's your favorite joke?
Oh my gosh.
What's your favorite joke? Something that you can tell that won't get us kicked off YouTube.
Oh my goodness. I don't know. Well, first of all, I wouldn't tell a dirty joke, but so I will never get you kicked off YouTube. But wow, I'm gonna really be a letdown here, Cody. I
mean, that's fine. I
can't think of a good. Wow, hold on. Okay, give me a second.
Okay.
Give me a second. I'm old. I've got a lot of jokes and memories in my mind I got to sift through here. Hold on. Checking the filing cabinets. Hold on. I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything.
All right, that's fine.
Tell me your favorite. What's your favorite joke? Let's turn this back on you.
I can't tell my favorite joke. It'll get us kicked off YouTube.
See, I've heard dirty jokes, but I don't repeat them because, I don't want to get in trouble. But
it's all right. We're on the opposite ends of the spectrum. You can't tell yours because you can't remember. I can't tell mine because it'll get us kicked off. So I guess we'll end it on no joke at all.
Well, let's just end it on the bright note of there are so many wonderful people in the world, and I want to encourage anyone listening, be one of them. And I want to sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, thank so many thousands and thousands of people that have been so kind and encouraging to me over the years, especially in the last year and a half, but over the whole course of my career. I've been blessed beyond anything I ever deserved, and I'm so grateful for the opportunities I've been given and the people that I've met along the journey. And go watch Star Trek Continues. That'll make you feel good.
Hey, yeah, there you go. Well, Vic, thanks for being here. This was great.
Thank you for having me, Cody.
All right. Well, see you, everybody. Thanks for listening/watching.